Let me say something that might irritate you a little. If the year changes and you don't, that is not the universe. That is strictly you. And I don't say that to be mean. I say it because every January, people swear this is going to be their year. New year, new me, fresh start, clean slate. But you got the same habits. You're around the same people. You have the same patterns and the same excuses, just better packaging. And then by March, they're tired, disappointed, or confused about why nothing shifted. So today we're just going to be honest, as if I hadn't been before. But yeah, we're getting even deeper in the honesty. I want to talk about why we repeat years instead of changing our lives. Because growth doesn't happen because the calendar flipped. It happens when you decide to stop lying to yourself. And yes, I'm talking to myself too. And most of us are really good at lying gently. Sometimes we do it so good we don't even know we're doing it. Here's one of the biggest lies that we tell ourselves: I'm doing the best I can. Sometimes that's true. And sometimes that's just a comfortable thing to say to keep you comfortable. Because doing your best and doing what's familiar are not the same thing. Comfortable is sneaky. It'll tell you, at least this isn't as bad as it used to be. It'll say, you've been through worse. Or it'll remind you of your growth while quietly convincing you not to grow anymore. And if we're not careful, we'll call survival healing. We'll call endurance strength. Or we'll call staying peace. And yes, I put my quotation fingers up when I said peace. And I had to check myself on this. There were things last year that I tolerated, not because they were healthy, but because they were familiar, because I knew how to survive them, because I didn't have to risk becoming someone new. And that's the part people don't like to talk about. Healing is always going to cost you something. It costs you identities, it costs relationships, it costs versions of you that people are comfortable with. So instead of doing that, we negotiate. We start saying stuff like, I'll deal with it later. I just need to get through this season. Oh, this is only temporary. And sometimes temporary turns into your whole damn life. So let me be clear about something. So you don't repeat years because you're broken. You repeat years because you're human. But staying aware without changing, baby, that's a choice that you're making. At some point, insight has to turn into action. And action is so damn uncomfortable. But another truth is, you can want peace and still choose chaos. You can desire healing and still keep people close who numb it. You can say you're ready for change and still do everything required to avoid it. And that's not because you're lazy. It's because change threatens your sense of safety, even when that safety is dysfunctional as hell. For a lot of us, survival mode feels safer than rest. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace, because peace requires you to have new skills, new boundaries, new responses, new versions of you. And that shit is scary. So when you say, this year I'm going to do better, my question is, better how? Are you going to be more patient, less available, more honest, more disciplined, more rested? Or do you just mean more hopeful? Because hope without action is just wishing. And wishing will not change your life. All right, this is the part where I'm going to slow down for you. Because I don't want you listening to this thinking about everybody else. I want you thinking about you. Not in a way of shame, but in a clear way. So if you can, go ahead and grab your journal, because you know what time it is. And if you can't at the moment, just sit with these questions. The first one, where did I lie to myself last year? Not the big dramatic lies, the quiet ones. The ones that sounded like, it's fine, I'm fine, it'll be okay, it's temporary. Yet, where do you lie to yourself? Number 2, what did I call growth that was actually avoidance? Be honest. You're answering these prompts for yourself, not for me or anybody else. Number 3, what truth do I keep dancing around because acknowledging it will require change? Just know you don't have to fix it today, but you do have to name it. That's where the healing begins. Name it, because clarity is the beginning of change. And let me say this too. You don't need to reinvent yourself this year. That's not what we're doing in 2026. You don't need a new personality. You don't need a new aesthetic. You don't need a new life overnight, because it ain't going to happen. And if it does, it's not going to last. But what you need is consistency. You need courage. You need boundaries to stop negotiating with yourself about. That's it. That's all you need. A better year doesn't come from motivation. It comes from decisions you make repeatedly, even when nobody is watching, especially when nobody is clapping. Because, people will watch, but they won't clap. They won't say good job. But when you see them in a grocery store and pass, oh, girl, I see you. You're doing big things. Yeah. So if this year is going to be different, it won't be because you said it was. It'll be because you moved differently. You chose differently. You stop lying to yourself gently. If this episode felt personal, that's not an accident. This series isn't about comfort. It is about truth. So if you're ready to sit with it, subscribe to the podcast. Download this episode. Come back to it when you feel yourself slipping into old patterns. We're going to keep talking about the stuff people avoid. New year, better you. But only if you are willing to be real.